Tonight on the HPT, we're at the Westgate, Las Vegas, where a field of 329 entrants generated a prize pool of $500,000. Going out in ninth place from Los Angeles, California was Nick Phoenix. With less than 10 big blinds and under the gun, Nick shoves all in with pocket kings and gets called by chip leader Jeremy from the big blind with ace 10 off. The flop, ace, queen, jack, two spades. Jeremy flops a bigger pair. Both players flop straight draws. The turn card was the queen of diamonds, pairing the board. Now Nick needed any king or 10, but it wasn't meant to be. The eight of spades fell on the river. Nick went out in ninth place, but not for nothing. He went home with just under $12,000. Our eighth place finisher was Novi, Michigan native Scott Sisler. In early position with just over 8 big blinds, Scott shoved all in with his ace 4 suited in clubs. With action folded around to Terry in the small blind, he looks down, sees pocket 10s, and makes the call. The flop came out jack 8-4 with a couple of hearts. Scott pairs his 4, but is still behind. The turn card, the 6 of diamonds, was no help for Scott. He needed to see an ace or a 4 on the river, but got a king instead, and Scott was eliminated in 8th place, taking home just under $14,000. And finally, our 7th place finisher tonight was New York City native Jeff Colpitz. In the big blind, facing a raise from Terry and a re-raise from James, Jeff shoves all in with his ace-jack suited in diamonds and is called by the pocket kings of James. The flop, 9-5-4. It was a rainbow. No help for Jeff. The turn card was the 6 of spades. Jeff now needs to see an ace on the river or he will be eliminated, and that river card was another 6, eliminating Jeff in 7th place. He went home with just under $17,000. Well, folks, we have 6 players remaining and over $300,000 to award, and it all starts right now.
How you doing, everybody? Welcome to the HPT. I'm James Larson, alongside professional poker player and coach, Mr. Kenneth James. Kenneth, this week we are here at the beautiful Westgate, Las Vegas Resort and Casino. This is the place Elvis opened back in 1969.
Yeah, at that time, James, it was called the International. And you know, not a lot of people know. 1 out of every 7 people in the world are Elvis impersonators.
How do you know that?
Because it's a 1 for the money, 2
All right, let's move on and meet our players. We have 6 remaining out of the 329 entries. I'm talking about players like Kerry Katz. We all know Kerry as a high-stakes poker player with over $14 million in earnings. He founded the company Poker Go. He's with us on tonight's final table.
Yeah, he has a tough hill to climb, though, because he's got Jeremy Joseph. He's got the field 2-1 in chips, and right behind him is Terry Fleischer. They both have over $1 million in tournament winnings. It's going to be an exciting table. I'm really excited to watch how this plays out.
Don't forget about James Carroll. The 31-year-old won an event back in 2012 right here on the HPT in Las Vegas. So it's going to be a great show. Let's meet the rest of our players, and most importantly, take a look at the prize pool.
Up top, over $114,000 on down to 6th place, just under 20 G's.
Holy, Jeremy Joseph leading the pack right now with 3.825 is your chip leader, Jeremy. Let's get right to the action. Blinds, 25.50 with the 5K. Thanks so much for joining us here on the HPT.
It's a colorful day out on the felt. We have the pastel chip colors out there. The light blue, 5K apiece. Those ever popular fuchsia, they're 25K apiece, just to acclimate everybody. And the orange, those are the high society, 100K for each one of those.
And Kai's going to peel off 125,000 with his raise with pocket 6s.
He's in the cutoff. Over to Jeremy. He's got a decision there, but quickly folds his King 10 on the button. Over to Kerry Katz.
Kerry Katz, by the way, just under $14 million in total career winnings.
Holy cow. He's got ace-jack. Now, this is interesting. He's on the short stack. I think most players would look for a shove, but he's a survivor, this guy. He decides to just call and peel and play post.
So it's ace-jack going up against the 6s. Our first hand of the night here from the Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino. And the flop comes out Queen Jack 10.
And this is the danger of Kerry not 3-betting pre and taking the lead. It puts him in a really tough spot here with just second pair and the gut shot straight to the... And now Kai leveraging his position and his chips.
And Kerry now, if he makes this call, it'll be for his tournament life. He's got the best of it right now, but only we know that.
Yeah, it's easier for us to see up here. Down there, he's thinking, man, I'm behind king, queen, ace, king. I'm drawing to a chop. Really tough spot here for Kerry.
And he's going to find the fold. Now, there's going to be amateurs at home or just regular folks that are going to say, how does he fold that hand?
Well, there's a couple of questions. I think it's easier to find the fold than it is to not 3-bet and take your stand pre, but, there's many paths you can take, and I think Kerry just decided I'd rather lose the hand than the tournament, and I'm gonna try and give myself a chance at getting back into this event and playing for the championship.
Action on Brownie in the 5 seat, our retired Navy veteran, the 72-year-old. Happy to see him here at this final table. He's going to fold his hand.
Yeah, we salute you for your service and a great journey onto the final table here for Brownie.
And now over to Kerry Katz. He looks down at Ace Trey.
This is an auto.
Yeah, he's going to get them all in the middle. But James Carroll woke up with pocket tens, so it's going to come down to this. And, you talk about Kerry Katz. This is a guy who's used to playing a lot of super high rollers, $1 million buy-ins, and he joins us here on the HPT to play this 1650. As we go to the flop, it's king, 9, deuce. Good news there for James.
Yeah, well, it shows his love for the game and his love for competitiveness. He's going to need an ace to the turn we go.
And it's the 10 of spades. So that is going to do it. James Carroll is going to eliminate Kerry Katz. So Kerry told me, hey, it was Thursday when I played day 1A. I thought I got the day off. I'll go play some poker. He ends up at this final table and wins just under $20,000. And when we come back, we'll have more exciting final table action from the Westgate in Las Vegas. Welcome back to the HPT. We broadcast from the Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino. Our first time back here since 2014. And Kenna, it feels good to be home.
It sure does. I live right up the street here. And it's great to be here and see HPT back in town. The City of Lights, Las Vegas.
James Carroll doing what he's supposed to do on the button with his queen 10. Raises it up to $110,000.
Kai looking down at 5 deuce of diamonds. Some people would find an easy muck, but you can't just become somebody's customers and, let them run over you in the blinds by playing too tight. So it looks like he's going to defend. I like a 3-bet bluff here rather than a call, but he does decide to call and peel. To the flop we go.
Heads up, comes out a queen and 2 5s. So the big blind special there as Kai quickly checks over to James. And James pairs his queen. This is perfect for Kai. We're going to see some fireworks like the 4th of July.
Yeah, but, his flop is so big, he's just going to slow play and call. Perfect. To the turn we go.
That turn card is the 7 of hearts. Doesn't change anything. Kai still with 3 of a kind. I love it. He checks back to James, and now James is thinking, well, how much do I bet this time? I've got queens and 5s. I feel good. I'm in position. And I'll go ahead and make the bet.
And it looks like Kai's going to put the hammer down.
Do you like that play there? Would you rather he wait another street, wait for the river, or do you like that play?
Depends on my opponent. It's really a tough call. It really is. But it looks like Kai had a plan for the hand, He was going to just check call flop and then check raise the turn. And he's going with his plan. Nothing wrong with it.
And he makes the call.
He's going to make the call, ladies and gentlemen. And James will see the bad news, and he knows the percentages. You see them on the screen there. James looking for a queen and a queen only. Right. Otherwise, Kai's going to double up and win this pot. And the river card is the Tray of Diamonds. Kai's very happy. James not so much.
But you wouldn't know by looking at his face. Kai, you won the hand.
He was a little frozen there.
Yeah,
he was.
You won the hand. You got to drag the chips. He looks frozen. He's got the hoodie on. Guys, we're in Las Vegas. It's not that cold. Now, you have heard that they've pumped in cold air to keep, the players awake and keep them gambling. but not this much.
not this much.
These guys are dressed. Some of these guys are dressed for Michigan in December.
Yeah, you're right about that. James Larson, my name, alongside Kenneth James. We're so glad you're with us here tonight on the HPT from the Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino. Brownie on the button. He's going to make the call with his King 10. Now over to Kai, who just won a big pot. A double up there. He looks down at 7-6. Kai's in the small blind here. He's going to defend. And now Jeremy in the big is going to check his option. So 3 players going now to the flop. And it comes out 10-9-5. They're all diamonds. So Brownie pairs his 10, as does Jeremy.
Kai with the only diamond in his hand. He's also got the gut shot straight, so he's going to semi-bluff, take initiative in this pot, and put his opponents to a decision right away.
The bet is 75,000 chips. Jeremy's going to make the call. And now Brownie, with his paired 10, looks down at his hand. Again, we want to thank him for his service in the Navy. What a great guy this Brownie is. So cool to have him here at this final table. I know he's having fun.
And that was a great song by the Village People, too, by the way. Just a side note.
Turn card is the 9 of hearts. Kai's going to check over to Jeremy.
Sorry, just had a moment of flashback there.
All right, so Brownie's going to reach for some chips. He's going to make a wager of $315,000, enough to get Kai and Jeremy out of the way.
In position won that hand, James.
So Brownie, a first-time player here on the HPT. He told me his plans for the cash. It's going right in his poker account. Now, he won a club WPT final table back in 2008. This guy's been running good in life. We're happy to have him here on the HPT.
Sure is.
And speaking of running good, that man right there, James Carroll, won our event in Las Vegas in 2012. He's all in with his ace-queen.
Now, Brownie with pocket tens. I think he's going to smartly realize this is most likely the best hand. His chips go in. So it's going to be a coin flip, but this time it's for James Carroll's tournament life, which is on the line.
So Brownie with the pocket tens going up against James and the ace-queen.
Yeah, and it looks like David's got the straight blockers there, which makes it more than a coin flip. He's got a 56-43 advantage as we go to the flop.
And the flop comes out queen, 6 deuce. James goes in the lead, pairing his queen.
It's like dodgeball when you have that underpair to the 2 overs.
Turn card is the jack of hearts. The queen still best. Brownie looking to pick up one of those remaining red 10s in the deck, and it is not meant to be. So James Carroll wins that pot and continues his quest for a second HPT title right here in the great state of Nevada. I said it earlier, he won this event back in 2012 at the Palms, and he's hoping to do it all over again. We'll be right back after these words. You're watching the HPT. James Larson, my name, alongside Kenneth James. This week we're at the Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino. 5 players remain.
Yep, and Brownie now, he's on the short stack. Only 7 big blinds. He's on fumes. He's going to have to pull a miracle or a rabbit out of the hat, as we say as magicians.
Over to Kai now. You saw, maybe you missed it, but earlier had a big double up against James Carroll. He raises now to $125,000. Action over to Jeremy. He's going to release his holdings. And now finally, your buddy in the 1 seat, Terry Flesher, is going to actually play a hand.
Yeah, I play a lot of poker with Terry. A great player, very dynamic, entertaining, creative. And he's in second chip position right now. Definitely one of the favorites to take this down.
Flop is King 10 Trey. He also knows a lot about a good cigar. I know that much for sure from hanging out with Terry. Kai's going to check his ace 10. Action on Terry. By the way, he's got over $1 million in career earnings. 3 previous cashes here on the HPT.
He's proficient at this game. Interesting, he had an interesting decision there, whether to semi-bluff and leverage his position, with the button, or take the free card. He took it, but when you do that, you also give up the lead. You open it up now for Kai to get in there. I expect Terry now to stay with his line of just calling and trying to make his hand before he puts any extra chips into this pot.
Terry's going to make the call.
So Terry's going to make the call, and we go to the river card, and that river card is the 8 of spades.
And this is the beauty of Terry's play, because even though he's missed his straight draw, he could represent the flush if he's willing to put the hammer down. He has the courage and the guts to do it. Will he do it? Grabbing for those ever-popular stack of fuchsia chips, $25K a piece. There it is.
There, it's going in. A 500,000 chip bet.
Boom.
With queen high.
How do you like that, Kai? When you're holding second pair, your opponent's played it exactly like he's got a draw and then puts the hammer down. But look at this. Kai makes the call.
And Kai's 10s are going to be good.
Wow.
And that will take down this pot of almost 1.7 million chips.
You know what this was? This was, I think, an opponent read. Sometimes you can't just look at the board card. You got to look at your opponent and determine, can this player make this bluff? And if you think he does, and you look at your pot equity, you make the calculations, and you have the courage to make the call. I think it was a great play on both players' part.
And now Kai wakes up with pocket jack, so time to raise it up again. We're going to go to 125,000. Over to James Carroll, looks down at queen 10.
Wow, so many interesting hands and dynamics here in Las Vegas, but this is where entertainment happens. This is an exciting part of the game. Now we have these two, Kai and James Carroll.
And it's queen 10 going up against the jacks, and the flop comes out king, queen, deuce, so James gets the best of the flop.
Yeah, interesting, though, because both players not with top pair. James with second pair to the board, Kai third pair.
And now the turn card is the ace of hearts. We've seen these two battle early tonight, and it continues. And now James is going to check as that ace comes out, as does Kai. We go to the river card. And the board pairs, you see the queen of clubs. Now, we see that James has 3 of a kind, but does that queen of clubs make this easier for Kai to lay his jacks down?
Great question, because you're right, James. As the board pairs, it's unlikely or more unlikely that your opponent holds that queen. But remember, it's also the queen of clubs, which brings the flush into play. Definitely an attempt at a hero call if he peels off these chips and pays off.
And he's going to do just that, and he's going to see the bad news. James Carroll is going to win the hand. Now, you call it a hero call with a pocket pair. I always thought a hero call was when maybe you had one ace in your hand on a board with a missed straight or a flush.
Well, it's any hand that is unlikely to be best based on your opponent's actions. Not just ace high, you know, it means, wow, you really got to pull it together, and it's a bluff catcher, really, is what it is.
Action over to Brownie, and he's got all his chips in the middle with king 9. Over to Kai now, he's going to fold. Jeremy now has pocket 7s on the button.
And a tough decision whether to 3-bet, isolate the player. Looks like he's just electing to flat to draw other players in to kind of get Brownie out of this tournament and ladder up.
Well, it's working. You see Terry made the call. You see James made the call. So Brownie's got to get past 3 other players to double up and keep his tournament hopes alive here at the Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino.
It would be a quadruple up.
Well, the flop comes out jack 6 deuce. Good news there for James Carroll. 2-pair flop. Terry will check over to James. I expect James to put some chips in the middle, and he puts 200,000 in. Jeremy's going to fold his 7s. Terry will get out of the way, and Brownie's going to see the bad news. Still 2 cards to go.
Got a long uphill battle to fight here, though.
He sure does. Brownie playing his first ever HPT. Total career winnings just 55,000. But look at this. There's life on the turn, the 10 of hearts.
It's one step up the hill. He needs a queen to stay in the tournament.
It's not to be. It's the deuce of clubs. Well, David Brownworth, it was a pleasure having you at this final table. We thank you for your years of service in the Navy, and I can say I've met a new friend this week on the HPT. Brownie goes home with $25,322, and we'll be right back after these words. James Larson with you alongside Kenneth James. 4 players remain. You see Terry's up top. Blinds can a 30-60 with a 10K. It feels good for me to be back here in Vegas. It's a lot warmer than the Midwest where I have to fly in from.
Yeah, it's great. I love the city. I think it's the best city in the world. We have the entertainment, but even outside of Vegas, we have the mountains. I love living here, and it's a great place to play poker for sure.
I love all the action here at the Westgate. So great to be back here in Las Vegas. It's been a few years for us here on the HPT, but we're happy to be back. All right, Terry's going to raise it up to $340,000 with his pocket sevens.
Yep, and James Carroll moving all in on the button with ace-jack. Looks like another basically coin flip situation. Should be about a 50-50 as our statistician brings it up. Oh, it's a 55-45. Those take into account cards that have been folded and things like that. So 55-45 for Terry. But as you know, it's like playing dodgeball as we go to the flop.
And the flop is king, queen, 5. So far, so good for Terry. But James picks up a gutter Broadway draw.
And 2 overs. To the turn we go.
Turn card is the 9 of hearts. The 7s are still safe for Terry. James needs to improve or he will be eliminated in 4th place.
To the river.
And the river card is the Jack of Spades, and James picks up one of his outs. No emotion there by the 31-year-old.
It's like playing dodgeball. Every card.
So James Carroll, who won our event at the Palms, not far from here back in 2012, continues his quest for his second HPT title. Hey, real quick, the cards at today's final table are Faded Spade playing cards. Head to fadedspade.com to get yourself a set. Use code HPT at checkout for 20% off your order. And special thanks to Faded Spade's CEO and a good friend of ours, Mr. Tom Wheaton.
Back to the action now. Jeremy Joseph getting involved here, raising it up to 135 with King 8 suited. Terry now, he has the ace-jack. He just lost to the ace-jack, and now he's dealt it. He's on the button. This is definitely a 3-bet situation. I expect him to pull the trigger, and he does.
He took the shades off, too, as he re-raises, and now James Carroll wakes up with a hand. The second time for him tonight, pocket 10s.
Yeah, this would be him on both sides of the coin flip, and he's going to go for it.
Wow, look at that. A re-raise all in.
Yes.
This is the kind of action we were waiting for here on the HPT. And now over to Terry.
Look at this. You see the irony in Terry's
Right.
face? Are we going to do this again? This is probably another coin flip situation. Although he's got to be concerned that his opponent could have him dominated with ace-queen, ace-king.
All right, I call.
But if I know Terry, he likes to gamble, and it looks like he does. He gets it in, and he's going to see, no way. I can't lose 2 coin flips in a row. That's 4-1 again.
It's not going to happen. So James in the lead right now with his pocket 10s. Terry with ace-jack, and let's flop it. And it comes out queen, jack, 5, and just like that, Terry goes ahead in the hand.
Yeah, and this is it. When you have coin flips again and again, it's hard to, win consecutively that many times in a row.
6 of diamonds peels off the turn. Let's go to the river. And that river card is the 4 of spades. Terry Flesher will win that hand and keep his tournament hopes alive here at the Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino.
Now, does he have him covered? I'm not sure. It's going to be close.
Well, they're reconciling the chips right now. And, you look at the players at this final table. Forget about what chips everybody has.
Right.
This is too tough to call. 4 great players all battling it out here for that first place money of $114,185. James Larson, my name, alongside Kenneth James. And wow, all of a sudden the action just kind of went up to 10.
It's heated up, but we're in the desert. It's Las Vegas. It's bound to be hot.
The action is on Jeremy with ace 8, 80,000 for him to make the call. He's going to raise it up to 175,000. James Carroll looks down at King Jack. He's going to get him all in the middle.
No stranger to getting his chips in the middle. That's 3 times in a row.
Kai's going to throw away his ace 4.
And, to be a successful tournament player, you can't be afraid to gamble. You really can't be afraid to put your chips in the middle with small edges or small disadvantages and put your opponent to the test. And that's what James Carroll is doing once again.
So 645,000 for Jeremy to make this call. He's 33 years old from Buffalo, New York. Over 1.1 million in career earnings, and he's going to make that call, ladies and gentlemen.
Jeremy Joseph. Like this guy's name.
He's in the lead right now. His ace 8 better than the King Jack of James, but it all comes down to the flop, and it's 5 tray deuce, 2 spades.
It's really about connecting with the board, and that's what James is looking to do to stay in this tournament.
Turn card is the 6 of hearts.
Now a 4, and these players would chop the pot. Otherwise, James is going to need a king or a jack. To the river we go. Oh, he spikes the jack.
King James does it again, this time with the jack of clubs, sealing up another double up for him, and he'll keep his tournament hopes alive here at the Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino. And we'll be right back after these words. The HPT invades Sin City this week. How you doing, everybody? James Larson alongside Kenneth James. We're at the Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino. How about the weather this week? I got a little bit of a suntan.
Yeah, well, you need it.
Yeah, you're used to it. I live in Iowa, okay? Give me a break here.
You got that white Iowa skin.
Yeah, you're right about that. James Carroll won a big hand, a big double up before we went to break. He's going to fold his hand. And now over to Kai, the 24-year-old from Hawaii, who's really played a great game tonight here on the felt at the Westgate. He raises up to 175,000. Jeremy gets out of the way. And now Terry, in the 1 seat, is going to make the call and defend his big blind. Heads up we go to the flop. And then the flop comes out, Jack, 9, 8, couple of clubs. So both players pairing their jack.
Yeah, and look at Terry. Looks like he takes an extra look at the flop. He knows he's nailed this flop. Ooh, an interesting check back by Kai here, managing pot size, going for pot control.
Another club hits the board, the deuce of clubs. Terry with an open ender, Kai with a gut shot.
Both players with top pair. Terry's got a stranglehold on this pot.
Yeah, Terry's got the flush draw as well.
But, I think Kai, that's just a little overkill. I think Kai here realizes this is a trouble hand. I expect him to just call here.
And Kai does just that. He makes the call of 300,000 chips. A pot of over $1 million now as we go to the river card. Doesn't complete anybody's hand. That's the tray of diamonds, so nothing changes there. But you see, Terry's got the check mark, and he's going to bet some of those orange chips.
Those are $100K a piece. Look at how he just even fumbles with the chip a little bit. This is the excellence of Terry. Just that little move right there, it signifies weakness, or he's trying to communicate weakness to his opponent to draw in a call. Will Kai do it? And he does it. He reluctantly pays it off. Terry shows the best hand and takes home the pot.
Terry's 71 years old from Allentown, Pennsylvania, and I'm going to give this guy a compliment right now. He does not look like he's 71 years old. I hope if I make it to 71, I look as good as Terry Flesher.
I do too, man. That's, I played a lot of poker with him. He's such a great guy, but, he shared with me his secret to the fountain of youth.
Yeah, what's that?
He gambles and plays poker every day. And now, over to Jeremy Joseph, who peeks down at pocket nines and raises it up.
Raises it up to 180,000. Fold it over to James Carroll with ace 4.
No stranger to putting his chips in the middle. He's going to do it again.
He's going to do it. He's in the big blind. He's getting them all in the middle, and Jeremy's going to make that call with his pocket pair.
And Jeremy Joseph, a significant favorite, 70-30. Has James Carroll stepped in it once too often, or will he suck out again? To the flop we go.
And the cards come out 6-5 tray, so James now with an open-ended straight draw to go with his ace.
Proved his equity, now up to 40% to the turn.
The turn is the 4 of clubs, so that pairs one of James's cards, but you see the percentages now, 71-12, only one street to go. And that river card is the king of clubs. That's going to do it for James Carroll. He'll go home with fourth place money, $33,762. He'll have to wait until next year to win another HPT title out here in the desert of Las Vegas. Of course, he won back in 2012 at the Palms across the way. How you doing, folks? James Larson, my name, alongside Kenna James. And just like that, Kenna, here at the HPT at Westgate, we're down to our final 3.
Yeah, and it's going to really pick up now. These guys are really firing away. As you can see, Kai now moving all in with his suited connector, 9-8, and holy Jeremy Joseph. He's got the ace-jack. I think this is going to be an easy call.
Yeah, Jeremy's going to make this call for sure. Terry's going to get out of the way, and Terry's thinking, well, hey, if somebody can get eliminated, that money goes up from $48,000 up to $72,000.
Yeah.
The old ladder up. Sit back and ladder up.
Sit back and ladder up for $25,000.
All right, let's go to the flop. A queen and 2 trays. So far, so good for Jeremy. Kai will need to improve, or he will be eliminated. Let's go to that turn card. Turn card is the king of diamonds, so one street to go here for Kai. Any 9, any 8, or he will be eliminated, going out in 3rd place.
To the river.
And the river card is the 7 of clubs, and Jeremy is going to win the hand. Kai will go out in 3rd place with $48,409.
Well, once again, congratulations to Kai on his 3rd place finish. But now there are 2 players left. Only one will get that 6-figure first place prize and the title. And heads up action will start right after these words.
We're broadcasting from the Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino. Jeremy and Terry, your final 2 players. We have 329 entries. And it all comes down to this. James Larson, my name, alongside Kenna James. It's anybody's game, but I'll tell you, that first place money, $114,185, wouldn't be too shabby for a weekend's work here in the desert.
Absolutely. Terry opening things up here with Ace King, raises to $350,000. Jeremy, he's got a very reasonable hand. Heads up. Does he decide to 3-bet and take the lead, or just flat out of position? It's going to be interesting. Looks like he is going to go for the 3-bet. Well, this is going to be great news for Terry.
Yeah, I kind of figured there'd be fireworks here on this hand. Ace King and King Queen.
Well, Jeremy now realizing he stepped in it, but he's got to figure out the pot odds and see if he's overcommitted and if he has to make this call.
Are we allowed to talk?
Yeah, absolutely. You can talk all you want. Heads up. That's it. It's the one.
Let's get this over with. You know, I mean, I'm tired. I want to go home. Either I win or I lose.
I understand what you're saying.
So let's just do it. Get it over with. If you win, I'll shake your hand. No hard feelings. I'm happy with 70, whatever it is.
I wouldn't feel right if I didn't give it my best shot.
All right, well then fold. You guys are all tired, aren't you?
No.
No, you want us to keep going?
This is awesome.
Oh, all right, they want us to keep going, so just fold.
Terry trying to draw his opponent into the pot. He's not falling for it. Jeremy Joseph finds the muck. Well done.
Terry's going to win the pot. The 71-year-old trying to teach a lesson to the 33-year-old in Jeremy Joseph as the action continues here from the Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino.
Jeremy pulling off a couple of those 100,000 orange chips.
Finally, I was getting bored.
And Terry's going to go ahead and make the call. We go to the flop, and it comes out ace jack 4.
What do you want me to do?
What?
What do you want me to do? I'll do whatever you want. Tell me what you want me to do.
I want you to check.
You listen
And he
to
did.
him.
He checked.
But Jeremy's going to reach for some chips. He's going to make a bet. And that wager's $250,000. And now Terry, with the gutter Broadway draw, makes the call. All right, let's go ahead and go see the turn card now. It's the 6 of spades.
What do you want me to do?
He asked him again.
I want you to go all in.
He said, I want you to go all in.
I'll check.
He's not going to listen to him this time.
Well, he found the secret. Tell him the opposite thing you want him to do.
The funny thing is had Terry gone all in, Jeremy would have had to have fold, as we can see, just with queen high. Now it's not as fun for Terry here.
No, he didn't get the response he wanted to.
Right, $450,000 on a draw, and I suspect these cards will go into the muck. Maybe not without a speech, though.
And Terry's a great table talker. He does find the muck.
This guy's making our job a whole lot easier. I'll tell you that much for sure.
Well, you know, you gotta hand it to Jeremy Joseph. He really stayed calm in the moment in spite of the table talk, and really played his hand well there.
Jeremy, by the way, $1.1 million in career earnings, and he got second back in 2012 at our event in Daytona Beach.
Terry peeling off the 5-3 of clubs on the button. Decides to just open limp on the button, James.
Yeah, he's going to make the call, and Jeremy's going to check his option. So 4 tray going up against 5 tray.
Look at this now. This is typical heads-up poker here.
Yeah, and the flop comes out a couple of big cards and a deuce. Ace, jack, deuce, 2 hearts.
Each player with a gutter ball straight, we call it, because there's only 4 outs as opposed to the open-end straight where you have 8 outs. Of course, we can see both players hold each other's cards, so they only actually have 3 outs to the straight.
So Terry bets $120,000, and look at this. I believe that's a raise now by Jeremy, and I like it, up to $275,000.
Jeremy finding a check raise on a semi-bluff with only, in his mind, what he thinks is 4 outs. And you know why? Here's why, James. Because there's an ace on the board, and Terry limped in the pot pre-flop so he doesn't put his opponent on an ace. So he's leveraging what we call board leveraging your opponent, what's not likely to be in your opponent's hand. But now he sees the bad news is that a jack is there. So when Terry calls him on the flop, he thinks his opponent has second pair on the board like a jack, which hits his hand.
All right, river card now helps neither player. That is the queen of hearts. So who's going to make the bet to take down this pot?
Very hard for Jeremy Joseph to take initiative here on the river. The jack, second pair on the board, came. Now the hearts come. You see, he's got a sore eye.
You're right.
He made a great play.
Oh, they both
on
checked.
The flop, and they checked. I can't believe Terry checks down 5 high, which is going to ironically end up being the best hand.
Might win. I'm not sure. Oh, no, it doesn't.
I don't think he knows, but that 5 will play. Jacks, ace, queen, 5.
They're counting it on their fingers. He's counting out. Yep. 5 cards. Yep, 5 plays. Winner.
What do you say, huh? 5 high. 5 high.
Welcome back to the HPT. 2 players remain. It's Terry and Jeremy. Who will end up on top? One of these players will go home with the cash, just over $114,000. Not too bad for second place, though. $72,290. Blinds are $100,000, $200,000 with a $30K ante. James Larson, my name, alongside Ken and James. That man right there, Terry Flesher, having a fun time at this final table. He's really settled in.
Yeah, he has a fun time at any table, and now he's opened up a chip lead here, almost 2-1. Still a lot of play to go. You know, Terry, he has this creative, interesting play. He likes to limp the button a lot and then defend. And as you can see, he rightly does here. He's got a 2-1 chip advantage and the button as we go to the flop.
And the flop comes out queen 10-6.
Huge flop for Terry. Doesn't pair his card, but he's got the open-ended straight draw. This is huge and no limit when you can semi-bluff.
Jeremy bets 250,000.
Terry takes the conservative route and just calls once again.
Get that free card to complete his hand, and there
bam.
is the king of diamonds, ladies and gentlemen. So a straight for Terry, and Jeremy continues to bet. But look, another diamond comes out on the board.
Yeah, this is going to empower Jeremy to semi-bluff now.
And that bet is 400,000. Now, do you want Terry to raise here in this situation in fear of the diamonds? You want him just to flat this? What do you do, Kenna James?
You put the hammer down.
All in.
And he does.
Terry says all in.
No, Jeremy can't make this call for... He just can't do it on a draw with the diamonds not
just one
happening.
card to come,
He
yeah.
does the right thing. And look at Terry smiling, hoping this will be the time he'll take down his first HPT title here at the Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino. Action continues. There's a 5 for Terry and an ace.
Let's see if he raises the button this time. If you know, he does mix up his play a lot. Now he's going to determine, can he raise or can he just move all in based on how many chips his opponent has.
That shirt is fitting for his vibe right now.
Yeah.
He's just kind of kicking back like he's underneath a palm tree, enjoying life. That's a raise. Going to go up to 900,000.
Jeremy now peeking down at the king 4 of hearts. Deciding how to defend here. Last time he 3-bet with his king queen. This time he's just going to flat and defend. We'll see a flop.
Yeah, you see that raise was up to 900,000. So let's go to the flop here at the Westgate. Comes out king 10-6, so Jeremy goes in the lead, pairing his king.
How many stacks of pink do you have?
Huge advantage for Jeremy now.
Okay, I'll check.
He says, how many stacks of those
Yeah.
big chips do you have? Terry asked Jeremy. Let's go to the turn card now. And that turn card is the 5 of hearts. So Terry pairs his 5, still behind in the hand.
Look at Jeremy kind of laying back like he has no interest in the pot. There's some gamesmanship going on here because I don't think Terry would normally bet here.
All in.
900,000 and now an all-in bet.
Wow.
I can't see how much more it is.
I was going to ask how much more it is now.
Yeah, Terry realizes he stepped in it because he got drawn in by the gamesmanship of Jeremy.
Okay, I have to call that. So.
He has to call. He's not going to like this with only 11% chance.
Said he's making the call. Jeremy in a great spot here to double up.
Yeah, Terry really stepped in it here. He's going to need a miracle on the river.
He's going to need a 5. And he got it. The 5 of diamonds on the river. This tournament is over. Just like that. Terry is your new HPT champion, going home with $114,185.
Amazing 5 on the river. Real Terry style here. He really leaves his opponents befuddled and bewildered, wondering what the heck happened. Congratulations.
But not for nothing. Jeremy, our second place finisher, a nice payday for him, going home with over $72,000. And it's time for his interview with our tournament director, Jeremy Smith.
Jeremy, tell me about that last hand.
I lost it.
You lost it. That was a tough one, though. You had him ace-5. You had top pair there. You had him right where you wanted him. Pretty much just a couple outs on the river there. That was a tough one.
That's absolutely correct.
That is absolutely correct. Now you're still walking away with 72,000. Good. You guys played a long, hard day today. 72,000 still. Any plans for the money?
Not sure.
Not sure yet. Well, we appreciate you coming out. Hope to see you at future HPT events. There you have it, guys. Our second place finisher, Jeremy Joseph. Nice job. Let's give him a round of applause, guys. Nice job. Yep.
Well, thanks so much, guys. And once again, congratulations to Jeremy on his second place finish. But you were right, Kenna. After that 5 hit the river, in that interview, you can see Jeremy was a little befuddled.
Yeah, well, Terry has a way of doing that to players, but I learned something important from Terry. Not only wear a smile on your face, wear it over your heart. Never hurts to take home the championship.
Yeah, championship and all that money, $114,185. Let's see what Terry has to say. He's with Jeremy.
You played great throughout the day. Tell me about that last hand there.
You know, during the tournament, I pretty much played a good game. I came into the final table, one of the low stacks. I built it up. Even if he won the hand, I still was a chip, over him. And what I like about this tournament is that I went through a large field, and there were a lot of pros in the field. Absolutely. And the final table was pro-packed. So I feel good about the win.
All right, well, that's a wrap here from the Westgate in Las Vegas. It's been a fantastic week. I want to thank all of the players for stepping up and making this another successful event. Now, if you're watching this at home and you're thinking, well, I can do what Terry just did, and I kind of want to take home some of that money, why not give it a shot? Visit our website at hptpoker.com, and who knows, maybe you'll be playing for the life-changing cash. For our tournament director, Jeremy Smith, he's Kenneth James, and I'm James Larson. We'll see you next time right here on the HPT.